Hello everybody and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer and welcome back to week 3 of Premier League predictions. Big shout out to all you guys because the Premier League predictions have been going great so far this season. So just want to make a massive shout out to you guys for hitting that like button and subscribing. And if you've not done so already, please do exactly that. Please do like, please do subscribe, and let's get into these predictions. Week 3. First game up, we've got Spurs taking on my club, Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I'm going to speak about us first quickly because we're having a good week so far. Matheus Nunes heading to Wolverhampton, also being linked with various other players as well. Could be a good end to the transfer window. Tottenham got their business done early, didn't they, in this transfer window, and a lot of their players are already moulded into the squad. What a game that was at the weekend, last weekend against Chelsea. Exactly what you wanted to see. It had the passion. It had the fire. I think things are going to pick up for Wolves. I do. I'm hoping it does anyway. But against Spurs at home, I am going to give it to Spurs. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Spurs. They look like a really good team, to be fair. Although I do have to say, Chelsea did pressure them quite a bit in that game, didn't they? They were probably the more attacking team out of the two, Chelsea. But let's move on to Everton taking on Nottingham Forest. And Everton, well, they'll be looking to get their season started and going. They're coming up against Nottingham Forest team who I thought looked massively improved last week. Maybe that's just an extra week with the squad that Steve Cooper's had, starting to figure out who his best 11 is, which is starting to get a harder task because more and more players keep getting added. Nottingham Forest needed signings, didn't they? But there's a question about when does it become too much? I don't know if they've reached that point yet. All I do know is there's going to be a lot of competition within that squad, which I suppose in the Premier League can only be a good thing. Everton themselves still hopeful of getting a couple of signings through the door as well. This is going to be a really good fixture. I think, obviously at Everton, it does give Everton an advantage over Forest. This is a hard one to predict, to be honest. I'm going to call it straight down the middle. I'm going to be a bit boring. I'm going to go 1-1. Onana looked a hell of a player for Everton, by the way, when he came on. So if he does start, he'll contribute a lot. But I'm going to go 1-1. I just feel that maybe because of Everton at home, that'll give them a bit of an advantage in this fixture. We move on to Leicester taking on Southampton. And I think this is an interesting fixture in itself because it's two managers that are already up against it. A lot of noise coming out of Leicester that Brendan Rodgers isn't happy with basically what Leicester have been doing. But at the same time, I think people are wondering, is his tenure coming to an end? Same can be said for Ralph Hasenhüttl. Obviously, he's got a lot of young players that have been brought in for Southampton. He's going to need time to mould them. The question is, will he get that time? Some fans may be feeling it, and pundits as well, feeling that maybe this is the season that Ralph Hasenhüttl does depart. So a win for either of these teams will be much needed and will be much appreciated for the manager as well. It'll give them a bit more of a lifeline and maybe a bit more time to get their season going. I think I'm going to give this one to... this could be a very divided game as well. I'm going to go Leicester, I'm going to go 2-0 Leicester on this one. Again, maybe just because of the home team. I think I'm going to back the home team 2-0 to Leicester. Let's come on to Fulham taking up Brentford next. And, well, Brentford will be buzzing after the result at the weekend, won't they? 4-0 against Manchester United. But the way things are looking, that doesn't seem like that mad a thing to shout and cheer about at the moment because United looked an absolute shambles. But I think people do need to give Brentford more credit what they did in that fixture. Of course, Fulham took on my team, Wolverhampton Wanderers, a 0-0 result there. Probably be feeling a bit unlucky they didn't take the 3 points away with them. Obviously, Mitrovic missing a penalty. I think this is going to be another well-contested game, and I think there's going to be goals in this one. So I think I'm going to go for a draw. 2-2 draw in this one is my prediction. Let's move on to Crystal Palace taking on Aston Villa. Got to speak about Aston Villa to start with. I'm going to go speak about Aston Villa because losing Diego Carlos is a massive, massive loss. The £27 million signing, going to be out to 6 to 9 months. Real shame for Villa fans and obviously the Villa team. He did look a complete signing in that centre-back position and he will be greatly missed. But Crystal Palace, obviously, they've had a bit of a hard start to the season, having to take on Arsenal and Liverpool. I did think they might have got the 3 points against Liverpool. Of course, they didn't quite hold out for that. Obviously, Liverpool going to 10 men, but then bagging a goal. I think I'm going to give this the home team. I'm going to give it Crystal Palace, and I'm going to give it as a 1-0 victory to Crystal Palace. I feel Crystal Palace have had a hard start to the season, but I've been really impressed with what I've seen from them. A really exciting looking team. Maybe Villa will be a little bit hurting from obviously what happened with obviously Diego Carlos, but they did pick up the win over Everton. So maybe I'm being a little harsh, but 1-0 is my prediction. We do not go back on our predictions once we've called them. So let's move on to Bournemouth taking on Arsenal now. And Bournemouth have just come off the back of a 4-0 beat into Manchester City. But to be fair to them, they won't be the last team to get absolutely beaten up by Manchester City this season. Arsenal, on the other hand, they are flying in this start to the season. The signing of Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus, already making their impact and already looking like they're a couple of unreal signings for Arsenal. Could this be the season that they get that top 4 position? And could they be a title contender as well, or at least push a bit more for that title? I know some Arsenal fans are speaking about it. A little bit too early, in my opinion, but they do look unreal, to be fair, so far, what I've seen of them this season. One thing for Bournemouth, if you want to give them a bit of hope, you would say that Arsenal's away form in recent seasons has been their downfall. They've been much better at the Emirates. But at the same time, I can only see this going one way. And to be honest, I'm going to give it as a 3-0 prediction to Arsenal in this game. Let's move on to West Ham taking on Brighton. And obviously, West Ham, they need to get their season started. I think they'll be a little bit disappointed about the defeat to Forest. Of course, Declan Rice missing a penalty. They'll probably feel a little hard done by with that result. But they need to start picking up some points. They'll want to get their season going. But Brighton have got their season going. 4 points on the board. Of course, we saw the win against Manchester United to start their season. And a 0-0 draw against Newcastle. And it does have to be said that Brighton, I want to use the term unlucky, but if it was not for a Nick Pope masterclass, it could have gone for Brighton, taking away 2 back-to-back wins. I think this is going to be, again, another well-contested game. I am going to call it a draw. I am going to go a draw. I think this will be a 1-1 draw. I'm liking what I see from Brighton so far this season. I think West Ham have potential. They've just not got going so far this season. So let's talk about Leeds now taking on Chelsea. Leeds looking impressive so far this season. And, you know, going to Ellen Road, Chelsea, it's not an easy game by any standards. I'm really liking what Leeds have added to the squad. Of course, big losses in Rafinha, Calvin Phillips, but I'm liking the way that they are looking so far this season. Chelsea, of course, the other end of that fiery game against Tottenham, they'll be a little disappointed that they didn't take away all 3 points. I felt they were more the aggressor in the game, and of course, it was a late goal that stopped them getting the win. I do think I'm going to give this to the away team, but I think this is going to be a very well-contested game. I don't think you're going to see Chelsea just walk over Leeds. So for that reason, 2-0. I'm going to go for 2-0 for Chelsea, but I do think Leeds will put up a good fight against them. Let's talk about Newcastle United taking on Man City next. And Man City so far, they look unstoppable, don't they? Let's just be honest. I mean, I think it says it all that when you look at the fact that they won 4-0 and their centre forward only completed 2 passes. One of those passes was an assist, though. So I think some people are being a bit harsh on Erling Haaland. Let's not forget one of the 2 passes he completed was an assist. I don't think he had much more touches either. But Newcastle United, obviously, 0-0 against Brighton. I think it has to be said with Newcastle that they do need the firepower. They're in the market for it, aren't they? They're trying to search for the firepower, the striker that's going to get them some goals this season. I think that's the missing piece of the puzzle from what I'm seeing with Newcastle now. Maybe an additional centre mid, but I do think the striker is the main priority. But they're coming up against Manchester City. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for them, and I am going to give it no shocks to the away team. 3-1. I do think Newcastle get a goal, but Man City just look unstoppable at the moment. And I think this is our last game. I think it is, isn't it? Manchester United taking on Liverpool to finish it, and 2 teams which will be massively disappointed with how their season has started, but Manchester United will definitely be a lot more disappointed than Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool will be without Darwin Núñez for this game. But look, Firmino's going to come in or Jota's going to come in. They're not bad replacements, are they, at the end of the day? And I think Darwin Núñez he'll learn from that mistake, won't he? He'll learn to keep his temper, will you at least hope, for the future. Manchester United, I don't know where to start with these guys. They just look an absolute mess at the moment, in all honesty. I can't see that changing anytime soon. This is going to be a long-term project, and United need 3 or 4, maybe even 5 more signings. Will that be possible with the Glazers? Who knows? But when it comes to this game, I think I've gave it to the away team 3 times in a row now. I am going to have to give it Liverpool. I can only see it going one way. Will Manchester United put up a fight at least and get a goal? Because this is the big game, United-Liverpool. You'd hope so if you're a United fan. I'll give them a goal. I'll give them 1 goal, but I'm going to go 4-1 to Liverpool in this prediction. I do think Liverpool are just going to be the better, and they need to kick their season off. I think they're going to come with some force to do it, and I think 4-1 Liverpool in this fixture. I think things just look horrible for Manchester United at the moment. And guys, that is week 3 of Premier League predictions. Let me know your thoughts. James will be back with his Premier League predictions next week for week 4. Let me know in the comments as well if you'd like us to both maybe do them, have both of our predictions, or whether you'd like it to just be James or just myself and alternating it weeks on weeks. Let me know anyway in the comments. So guys, please do us a favour, hit that like button, and please do subscribe to the channel if you're new here as well. And hopefully we'll see you on week 4 of our Premier League predictions. Take care and goodbye.